Hi, today we're going to talk about some of the early experiments done to determine the genetic code. The first one we're going to discuss is Nirenberg and Mattei's experiment, and after that we're going to talk about Nirenberg and Leder's experiment. Alright, so this diagram here is showing Nirenberg and Mattei's experiment. So what they did was they took poly-U, which is a strand of uracil, and they mixed it in with cell-free extract and 20 amino acids, and they did this in 20 separate test tubes. Now in each test tube, one of the 20 amino acids was radioactively labeled. So for this one, phenylalanine was radioactively labeled. For this one, proline was radioactively labeled, and so on. So all of these test tubes were incubated and allowed to have translation occur. And once translation occurred, the proteins were filtered out and tested for radioactivity. Now, if any of the new proteins had radioactivity, they knew that whatever homopolymer they were testing matched with that amino acid. So in this case, using a poly-U strand, they found that UUU, 3 uracils, codes for phenylalanine. Now we're going to talk about Nirenberg and Leder's experiment. This was done to kind of expand upon Nirenberg and Mattei's earlier experiment. So what they did was they created synthetic mRNA strands that were only a single codon long, in this case GUU. This would be mixed with charged tRNAs, so they're charged with the amino acids here, and ribosome. So for each synthetic mRNA codon created, this would be tested 20 separate times like the previous experiment. And for each of these separate tests, one specific amino acid would be radioactively marked. So in this case, valine is radioactively marked. That's hence the star. So once this is all mixed together, the mRNA would bind with the tRNA through the ribosomes. Once binding was allowed to occur, the mixture would be filtered through a nitrocellulose filter. So only so if no binding occurred, then everything would just flow right through the filter. Only when an mRNA and a tRNA binded together would they get caught in the filter. So all these filters were taken and tested for radioactivity, and if the filter was radioactive, that's how you knew that your codon matched with your amino acid. So in this case, GU matches with valine.